Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we'll take a look at reaction to possible mandated warning labels being added to social media. And employees of an institution in the region are celebrating a new pay increase after board approval.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on Tuesday, June 18th. Now let's go on ahead and send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. Waking up to some fog and haze, a damp, heavy feel to the air. Hey, it is summertime, mid-60s here in Hazard. And as you can see with the visibility outside our door, same thing as yesterday. You leave Perry County, you head down toward Harlan and Jonesville. Also, as you make your way into central and southern portions of West Virginia, some fog issues your way. Temperature-wise, mid and upper 60s into the 70s this morning. Warm spots right now. Pikeville at 74. Monticello at 74, at 73 up your way. You make your way toward Moorhead. All right, the satellite radar composite showing the thickest of cloud cover again west of 75. But that doesn't mean we're not going to get sunshine today, just obscuring what is coming up across the eastern horizon as we head through time today, this afternoon, like we saw yesterday afternoon, the risk of a pop-up shower or thunder shower that's going to be capable of producing some heavy rainfall and a high today in Hazard near 90 degrees. More about the First Alert 7-day forecast. That's coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. And as he was just talking about, it is a hot one this week with highs expected to reach into the 80s and 90s. And WYMT's Amelia Lee talked to local health professionals and has more on how to stay safe when you are outside in the elements.
Wear your sunscreen, stay hydrated, and lose those layers. Basics to beat the summer heat. Nurse practitioner Amy Thomas says that's just the beginning when going outside.
It's important to limit activities such as exercise to those times that are coolest during the day. Water is going to be the drink of choice. Electrolyte drinks are ideal to replace salt.
Thomas says construction workers should take extra precautions as well as people with various health risks.
Or a diuretic, for example, and they have limitations in which the fluid that they can drink during a normal day, so those type of patients, especially elderly and children.
It's important to keep yourself safe during the heat, but you can't forget about your furry friends and their needs, especially on walks in the park.
Be careful about them walking on the asphalt if you have a paved area, because it can get so hot that it'll burn the bottoms of their feet. So you want to either walk them in like a grassy area or get like the little booties that you can put over their feet.
Breeds like pugs and English bulldogs should refrain from being outside in this weather.
And the way that dogs cool themselves is through panting. They don't sweat like humans do to get rid of heat. They have to pant, and these dogs have issues breathing, so they have trouble cooling themselves.
If you are outside, stay in the shade and stay hydrated. In Perry County, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
And of course, officials say if you see signs that something may be wrong with your pet, call your veterinarian. And if you start to feel the heat, go inside to cool down. If your symptoms get worse, heat stroke is a possible risk for both your pet and yourself. Multiple organizations in Hazard are working to host an event for Juneteenth. Juneteenth is this coming Wednesday, June 19th. The holiday celebrates the freedom of slaves in the 1860s. Organizers are hosting the event at the Art Station in Hazard. HCTC President Dr. Jennifer Linden says the event will involve food and education.
We'll all be getting together for a lunch and learn session to learn all about the history of Juneteenth and enjoy some excellent food. So it's a free event. We hope that everyone will come down, and that's this Wednesday.
The event begins at noon, and Linden says organizers with the Southeast Kentucky African American Museum and Cultural Center were leaders in creating the event. If you received your GED through the Hazard Community and Technical College Adult Education Services, you can now qualify for the GED Advantage program. The program allows those who obtained their degree to enroll in a free first-year experience class. Officials say they also receive a $500 stipend and the opportunity to earn up to $1,500 for attending classes at HCTC. President and CEO Dr. Jennifer Linden says it's a great way to encourage people to return to the classroom.
That's why we've started this GED Advantage stipend program, to have students think about taking that next step and getting back into college and just furthering their education and bettering their lives.
Linden says the GED stipend program was created as part of their Learn and Earn model. To read more about this program, you can check out this story on WYMT.com. The Kentucky Community and Technical College System Board of Regents approved a salary increase for employees. All full-time employees hired before or on March 31st will receive a 3% salary raise. Officials say the $8.8 million cost of the increase was factored into their annual budget. KCTCS President Ryan Quarles released a statement to WYMT about the increase. Quarles says, quote, "I am thankful to our board for recognizing the importance of all our employees. This is a signal that we care and value everyone in the KCTCS family. We know the importance of the recruitment and retention of talented faculty and staff across our system," end quote. It's the end of an era for Kentucky Humanities. After 8 years, Executive Director Bill Goodman has announced his retirement. Under Goodman, the nonprofit saw success in its mission to promote the importance of cultural heritage, literacy, and civic engagement throughout the Commonwealth. The board of directors will now begin searching for his successor, ensuring a smooth transition and the continuation of the organization's work. The U.S. Surgeon General is calling on Congress to require warning labels on social media platforms similar to the mandatory ones on cigarette boxes. In an opinion piece in the New York Times, Dr. Vivek Murthy said social media is a contributing factor in the mental health crisis among young people. As Grayson Passmore reports, experts say a warning label should be just the start.
Like it or not, phone and social media use are a big part of our society.
So it's here to stay, but what's happened is it came out of the gate without us really knowing what the long-term impact would be. Adults tend to be able to monitor this better, but we know with youth, with developing minds, that we have to put in place some parameters.
Child psychologist Dr. Catherine Stone says the U.S. Surgeon General's recommendation to put a warning label on social media platforms is a good place to start.
So what parents need to do is vet those apps. If your kid is on TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram, they need to also be on it too and following their kid's device or their account.
Whether it's social media or YouTube, Dr. Stone says who your children follow can change their mindsets.
We see a lot of comparison, especially on Instagram. We've seen an increase in eating disorders and body dysmorphia.
And those in law enforcement have seen the physical harm or abuse that can come from unmonitored phone use.
There's just that ability to download anything you want, you know, whatever information, whatever image, whatever video you want is at your fingertips. And it's probably a good idea that parents set guidelines ahead of time.
Richmond Police Chief Rodney Richardson says you should have all of your children's passwords. Have open conversations with them about the dangers of talking with people online.
There's not any good news that law enforcement has in regards to children and social media.
In Richmond, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Dr. Murthy is also urging Congress to implement legislation that will protect young people from online harassment, abuse, and exploitation, and from exposure to extreme violence and sexual content.
Good Tuesday morning to you. Waking up with temperatures basically mid-upper 60s into the 70s. Hot spot Lexington, Louisville, 75, 78 respectively. Cooler to the east as you make your way into western portions of Virginia. Clintwood at 63, Wise in the mid-60s. Well, if we didn't have the fog outside, we'd be able to see a very spectacular sunset, which we are seeing on some of our other web cameras. We'll show that to you coming up in the next half hour. Thicker cloud cover back west of 75. That will continue to track to the north and east, and the best way to call today is partly sunny. And yes, some of us dealing with the fog this morning with a muggy feel to the air. And as we head through the afternoon, after the fog burns off, we do run the risk of seeing a shower or thunder shower popping up, similar to what we saw yesterday. Some heavy rainfall involved with the deal as well. And a forecast high today in Hazard of close to 90. All right, could be possibly dealing with another record high. We'll talk about that when summer officially begins. Yes, I know. Details with the First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
Thank you, Tim, and thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, we'll take a look at how this heat wave is impacting not only the Commonwealth, but people across the nation.